Hey, I'm Crafty. Today we're going to be covering another evolution, which is Leafeon. This is probably one of the more popular evolutions and I've tried my best to keep it as detailed as the sprites in game. Here's a list of everything you need for this. If you want, you can reduce the amount of colours by just using one green shade, which will mean that when cutting out each pattern piece, leave some pieces whole instead. The pattern is available for free for my DeviantArt and my Pinterest. It's the second link in the description. There are 2 pages, so make sure you have both of them before starting. Take the first body side and the front body leg tip and sew these together along the matching straight line. Sew the back leg tip to the straight line also. Repeat with the leg tips on the second body side. Use the same method to sew the inner leg tips to both front and the back leg pieces. Then align the body side and the leg tips together and sew them together only around the leg tips using the matching thread to blend with the fabric. Repeat with the second body side. Finish off the remaining sewing line of each side of the legs using matching beige thread, leaving the top curved edge open. Once done, take the middle body piece and align it so the point is at the back of the body, then begin sewing it onto one side of the body starting from the neck hole. At each curve in the middle, join this part along the gap you left at the top of each leg hole. After the first side of the middle body is joined, sew the other side to the other body side. When you reach the end, press both side bodies together and sew them together around the top until you reach the neck hole. Then flip it upright and stuff it. Be extra careful to really push the stuffing into the tips of the legs, as the seam allowance may block you from filling the area properly. For the body details, take two of the front body spikes and put them together with the tracing facing up and sew them together, leaving the straight edge open. Once done, flip it upright. Pin this piece to the top of the body using an invisible stitch to join it. Sew up two more spikes using 4 of the front body spike pieces, using the same method as we did for the last. Pin these to the back legs of the body and use an invisible stitch to join them on also. And lastly, sew up the remaining spikes that you have. Pin these to the side and back of the front leg, making sure they align in height with the other pieces, and use an invisible stitch to sew them onto the body. Put the last 3 spiked body pieces together, tracing showing, and sew it together leaving the straight edge open. Once done, flip it upright and pin it to the centre of the front body. Use an invisible stitch to join it on. For the tail, sew the light green piece and the green piece along the centre straight edge. Do the same for the other 2 pieces. Place these 2 pieces tracing showing and sew them together leaving the bottom straight edge open. Use this edge to flip and stuff it generously. This is completely optional, but for some extra detail, sew in the stem effect of the leaf on the tail using a 3-strand thread of dark green embroidery floss on each side of the tail. Pin the tail to the back of the body and use an invisible stitch to sew it on. Place 2 back head pieces together, tracing showing, and sew them together along the most curved line. Align the front head piece back to the remaining back head side and sew them together starting from the neck hole until you reach the top of the back head line. Repeat with the second head side. Press the remaining front head pieces together and sew them together until you reach the neck hole. Once done, flip it upright and stuff it. Take each eye glint and sew it to the centre of each eye using a running or a backstitch. Pin the eyes and nose to the head and use a backstitch to sew these pieces on. Place the largest head spike pieces together, tracing showing, and sew them together, leaving the bottom straight edge open. Flip it upright when done and stuff it. Pin this to the top of the head and use an invisible stitch to join it. Use the same method for the two smaller head spikes. Pin these both on each side of the largest spike and use an invisible stitch to join them. For the ears, sew each of the three gradient colours together along the aligning straight edges until you have 4 whole ear pieces. Take 2 opposing ear pieces and sew an inner ear piece in the centre of the finished side of each one. Place one ear with the inner ear piece and one without and sew them together. I switched the thread on each section, but you don't actually have to do this if you don't want to. Once done, flip it upright and stuff it lightly. Repeat with the second side. Pin these on either side of the head spikes and use an invisible stitch to sew them on. And for the final detail, take the green head detail piece and place it together with the tracing showing, and starting at one end, begin joining each piece together. Leave enough gap to flip and then turn it upright and stuff it. Use a stuffing tool or scissors to help get the stuffing through it if necessary. Use an invisible stitch to close off the open gap. Pin this to the centre of the head so it's the same way as a question mark, and use an invisible stitch to sew it on. And lastly, pin the head to the body so it sits about 1 centimetre around the neck hole, and use an invisible stitch to join it. And that is how you make a Leafeon plushie. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and comment down below on ideas like to see me make next. And while you're at it, why don't you go check out my other videos? I upload new videos every single week. Thanks for watching, bye!